Today's episode of Neon City Daily After Dark is brought to you by Rent-A-Kidney. Say, friend, you look down. Did something bad happen? Did you maybe wake up in a bathtub this morning? Surrounded in ice with some nasty cuts on your lower back? Yeah? Buddy, it sounds like you need Rent-A-Kidney! That's right, Rent-A-Kidney. With the largest supply of local, humanely and ethically sourced kidneys in the Neon City, you know you're in good hands with us. For just 4 low payments of $199.99 a month, you can have peace of mind and a happy, healthy life. Rent-A-Kidney! Find us on the hyperweb today. Kidneys may not be humanely and ethically sourced. Alright, I haven't had time to think of an intro, so I'll do one later.
In this land of creamy aioli sauce and Pepsi Max cans sitting on Nick's desk, he does one thing. Fuck all. Yeah.
Alright, well that's the intro, I guess. Could you imagine?
I just looked to my left and there was like a thing of KFC creamy aioli sauce. Like, fuck yeah, they'd have that.
Of course. Right? Of course. Alright, well, let us begin. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Neon... I'm going to start that again. Hey, guys, and welcome to the podcast. Yeah, we're sticking with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Jamie.
You're Jamie. I'm Nick.
And together, we are the New Age Power Rangers.
With functioning words. Yeah.
So, how you going, Nick?
Oh, man, I am living that dystopian corporation run dream at the moment. So
excellent.
Just I'm running between night shifts. I'm like, yeah, let's get a podcast.
Nice.
Because I hate myself.
I mean, that's why people do podcasts.
It's true.
It's just another form of self-flagellation. It's I don't have enough responsibilities in life. What if I have to record and edit a podcast? And you know what? Fuck it. One podcast, not enough. I'll participate in 2 podcasts. Also, I'll do like some streaming stuff from time to time. Like, yeah, you know, I've
actually got a render going at the moment. I'm actually cutting down. I'm actually cutting down that footage of Josh and his second visit to the asylum in Outlast.
Yeah, perfect.
At the moment, we get some good screams out of that, by the way. Which is nice.
Excellent! I'm glad.
I hope there's going to be a Scream remix soon.
There was a lot of just I'll call them whip turnings. Like he would run down a corridor and then he would whip turn 6 times, and I would lose any orientation I had while watching him.
I felt a little bit bad.
No, don't.
Because there's a moment where he clearly panics so much that he gimps himself. And I feel kind of bad because I even hear myself in the thing in the background just kind of say, yeah, it's right there, you've just got to turn right. But he doesn't hear me. But I also don't say it any louder or reiterate it because he freaks out so hard that I'm just like, I can't control this. It's a raging bull. I throw my hands in the air and I wait till the ride's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's we've got, to be fair, we've got a lot on offer at the minute with Neon City Daily.
Oh yeah, it's a great website. You should all listen to its podcasts and watch its content. If you're not listening to this podcast already, you should be.
You should be. But yeah, that's been my couple of days. I've I say that it's gonna sound a little bit repetitive, but between work and stuff, I mean, we played some Age of Empires 2 the other night, which was cool.
Yeah.
But I have been playing more Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Right.
And
which I kind of figured you would be.
Like, the problem with it at the minute is that while everything else has gotten better, the whole armor system, right?
Yeah.
It's an RPG armor system. You get the armor, it's got the stats, you put them on, you do the farts. Like, that's how it works.
Just like real ancient Greece.
I'm currently running around with some cloth strapped around my ball bag, and that is it. Because
is it good armor?
It is. It's the best armor that I can find for the level I am. But the creators really knew what they were going for with this, because as soon as you put on the ball bag carrier, which I'm assuming if you took the female option for the character would also be a boulder holder as well.
Yeah, a bit of a titty sling.
Yeah, it literally just visually just overwrites all your other armor. So I am literally a dude running around ancient Greece in his undies.
Nice.
Just performing daring do
now
across the whole
not
world.
Like daring do with that diaper. Importantly,
man.
What is the name of the armor? Do you remember?
Yeah, bare-chested and oiled.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's literally called that. You have oil all over you as well, and it gives you a bonus if you're covered in oil, which I'm assuming is a default with that. I guess it might come off if you get hit. I don't know, but
yeah.
You actually get a bonus to damage, I think, against certain targets if you maintain being oiled, as it were.
You're like what's that guy in Street Fighter who gets a bonus of being oiled up?
Oh, God.
Kareem
the
or something?
grappler. Yeah. But, he's churning butter and he's covered in grease.
Yeah.
I cannot remember his name.
I also just want to let you know that as you were talking about this armor, I was already 100% aware of what you were going to say, because in our Discord you've posted a screenshot.
I did actually. Yeah, we have a Discord, guys. If you listen to this and you're not on the Discord, you're missing out.
Yeah, if you want to see what Nick's oily armor looks like, it's there on the Discord.
There you go. But yeah, But that's my thing now, and I'm having, and that's what I mentioned on the Discord, that I had that moment of like, oh man, should I have just taken the female version of this? Because, and I can't change that now. I'm Alexios now. I cannot be Cassandra anymore.
You're locked into having a dong.
Yeah, no, that. Yeah, so I'm a Greek superhero in undies. But that's basically been my few days. How's yours been?
Well, I also, much like you, played Age of Empires with you, and I have learnt that I'm either super duper rusty at Age of Empires 2, or the way that the new AI is set up is just bullshit. Because it's like we're playing it on just moderate, and you hit a certain point where the computer goes, all right, I have streamlined unit production, and I will just send an endless wave of guys to attack your towns, and it's just like it never lets up, and I'm never prepared for it. I can handle the first couple of waves sometimes if I get a good start, but after that it's just I'm done. I already know I'm finished. And we just keep getting trounced. And
one of the things I noticed with that actually was that not only does it go like, here's a constant stream of units, but it breaks them up. So what I kept seeing was, I can't remember what race or civilization we were fighting, but it was just, it's like it optimizes what units it sends at you, because I would keep seeing 2 war elephants that are great at just smashing buildings down, and they were always covered by, I think it was 5 random infantry guys that were just really good at wiping out my cavalry. Right. So every time they filtered around to me, when they didn't all pile on you, I was like, I'd started getting better at dealing with them, because you were like a bit of a buffer, so you'd take half of it, and then it was just like sometimes they'd get through to me. But like they kept doing the constant thing, and I'm the Hun, so I'm dumping out all these horse units, and they're just getting ruined by this infantry while the elephants are wrecking my walls and wrecking my towers, and it's like, oh, you worked that out. Didn't you?
Figured completely out. And then like Josh, who is less rusty than us for sure, he's able to get like a pretty good start and have a decent army to kind of counteract them. But even he got overwhelmed to a point where, because he was trying to save us, but he got overwhelmed to where he's just kind of like gone back to his bases, and he had a really good position in one of the games where he only needed to make like 2 small stone gates, and he was basically
Yeah,
walled
he
off.
was
He was on a
pretty
cliff.
much covered. Yeah, and then I was on the other side.
But even then, one of the other player racers just like, yeah, fuck it, and just walked up with like 6 elephants, and he kind of goes back and like, oh no, I can't defend against this. So there's a thing where the developers are talking about the new AI in the game, saying, yeah, the AI, it doesn't cheat like the other AI did in the previous versions of the game, but I disagree. Because what they mean by saying it doesn't cheat is, hey, the AI doesn't automatically know where you are. It has to find you by exploring, and then it will send out waves of meticulously trained, just for the right situation guys, and it will be like, they'll always be on the ball and they'll always be moving. Whereas, our guys, our little men, like, even though they're clearly within eye shot of the fight going on, are just like, yeah, this is fine. I'll just kick it here.
See, when you initially, because you're the one that told me about the whole, they changed up the AI so they didn't cheat thing. The thing that I remembered that was garbage about it once upon a time was that the AI wouldn't act like it had a mouse. Everything would just happen simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it'd go boom, and back in the day, it would just go, well, I've got to make all these things happen, boom, and it would just have everything happen. So I immediately assumed it was like, maybe it makes it act like it's got a mouse that has to move from unit to unit. But I'm guessing not. Because
I
like
almost
active mid-battle changes with like multiple units and squads and stuff.
The AI is easily in multiple places at once.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's the thing that I thought they changed. I guess not.
No, they're even bragging, going, our new and improved AI can beat like a bunch, like maybe 3 or 4 versions of the other AI on very hard. So it's very advanced and strong and powerful. And so it's just, I don't know, it's got this bastard tactic where it just wears you down. It doesn't like I think we used to play it. We were like, because we tend to turtle in these games. We like to build up our civilization, wall ourselves off, build up an army, and then just like send them out the gate and go.
Yeah, because that's fun.
But the game doesn't let you do that anymore. It goes, all right, build as many guys as you can, as quickly as you can, send them, then just continue the production of guys coming in and messing up places.
It's entirely built around running that Zerg rush.
Yeah, it really is.
That's it. Yeah. Because that was, I feel like it used to be the case that they're doing what we used to kind of do and turtle a little bit at the start of the game. Was it'd work because what you had was units running at you that were weak. Yeah. Because the AI would try and Zerg rush a bit depending on the difficulty you had. But because they were so weak and not upgraded, you were fine because you tried to turtle a little bit. You built some towers. You built some walls. So the stuff you had could deal with that. But now it's like the AI is just like, come here, boy! And just poof!
Yeah. I mean, granted, our technique of playing the game, it's definitely not tournament worthy.
No, for sure.
Certainly a more laid back and casual and not as aggressive as you should probably be playing playstyle, but it's what I like to do. So
that's it.
So coming into like this, it's such a thing because you got like there's the moderate and then there's one below it, which I think is just baby shit easy, is what it's officially called. So it's like there's no middle ground where it's like it's a bit of a challenge, but I can kind of overcome. And like I just have to play it more and adapt to this this style of play that the game is now kind of insisting I use.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, if we don't want to do that, we can always just go back to playing Sins of a Solar Empire.
That's true, man. Sins of a Solar Empire is such a good game.
It's so good. It still holds up.
It really
Even
does.
now, it still holds up. You can I'm sorry, but I still enjoy zooming into those ships and just going, yeah, I've got a battleship.
Dude, man, I don't know. It Sins of Solar Empire. There's just something beautiful about that game that has never been replicated, as far as I'm aware.
No.
I don't think I've ever played a strategy game quite like that.
It's just such a good mix of like the space combat, the space like universe maps, and like that mix of diplomacy and trade and all that kind of stuff. It just works so well, and I feel kind of bad that I feel like the guys that made it are probably dead now. I don't know.
No, it's Stardock. Stardock made
Are they still there?
They just did.
Because all I really see is every now and then I get an email from their thing saying, "We made a new desktop organizer."
No, well that's definitely
it.
one of the things that they do.
Yeah.
What was it?
Which I mean, if you're gonna have a bunch of guys make a strategy game that do something else, you kind of want them to be doing something like that.
Yeah, I think the last game,
organizers.
The last game I think they released was Star Control Origins, and I think before that they did Fallen Enchantress. So they've been doing they basically do like totally different games. Like every game that they've done is like not like the other kind of situation. So, but yeah, no, they're still around.
Yeah, cool. Well, at least they're still around. That makes me happy that they're still around.
Yeah, after how Demigod went, we're pretty lucky that they're still around.
Oh yeah, that was them, wasn't it? Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it? I never played Demigod. I never even bought it. I don't think.
Oh really?
But I remember you telling me I should get it. But I never picked it up, and to be honest, to this day, I'm still not even sure what it was.
All right, well, so
I think it disappeared from Steam for a while there, actually, too. So,
all right, Demigod was basically the first time that a company went, we want to make Dota, and it was just a mod.
Geez,
so
yeah.
they basically had a similar idea to League of Legends, only they didn't do it right. So you had like maybe 6 champions, and I think maybe they added one more throughout the lifetime of the game. Instead of being like a legendary hero, you were a massive colossus. You were just a big stone creature, and you would be like stomping around the battlefield, and the little mobs were just normal guys, and it was just a MOBA.
Yeah, right.
And it was pretty good.
They tried to make a MOBA. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was fun, but it just didn't have enough legs on it. It didn't have, obviously, like the barrier to entry was $60, and or maybe a little bit less, but there was a barrier to entry, a monetary barrier, and
I do remember that being one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up initially, was because I A, wasn't sure what it was, and B, it seemed really expensive at the time, and that was back when Steam only displayed things in USD. Right. So you're sitting there as an Australian and you're like, that looks expensive because that's not even our money.
I think when I bought Demigod, I actually got it on the Stardock launcher.
Yeah, right.
So, I don't even have it in my Steam library. It's just on what is it even on? The GameSpot launcher now? I'm going to assume that I just no longer have Demigod.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, does that mean that you have it now? Because I don't think the Stardock launch is even a thing anymore, is it?
No, it got sold off to GameStop, and I don't know what they did with it. It probably died a death.
Yeah, they probably just sat it in a corner and farted on it.
But I do have the hard copy of it still. So it wasn't one of those games, I think, that required the launcher to play it. So if I went home and dug up these old DVDs, I could find it. Yeah,
you can find your backup somewhere, maybe.
Yeah. I think actually I ordered it from their online site, and Stardock would do this thing where they would give you a copy of the game, like just to play. So like you would order it online, you would just get it right away, so you could just download it and go. And then when they would send you the hard copy, you got a fresh CD key. And so I think that was how I got a lot of people on board with it at the time, because I'd take it to a LAN and be like, I got this, I got a free copy of it here for someone who doesn't have it. So it was easy to kind of go like, well, not as many of us need to make the monetary commitment to play it. Yeah,
it literally halves the amount of people that have to shell out cash.
Yeah, that's how I got you into Sins of a Solar Empire, I think, as well.
It was. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, because yet again, that was another one that I was just like, oh man, I'm a retail stooge doing 25 hours a week, and I think I looked at it and I was like, I can't pay American money like that.
Yeah,
it just
And I mean, how many games did you end up buying for the Sins of a Solar Empire title after that?
Oh man,
they made their money back.
Yeah, they made it back pretty well. I think they made it back thoroughly, especially because the expansions for it and then obviously, like, I think we've both since then not only bought the expansions and like the newer releases for ourselves, we bought them for other people because they're so good.
Yes,
We want them to play it.
Yeah, I gifted that game to a few people.
I've spent a lot of hours in there, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how many. I think, like, actually, I'm gonna quickly give you a little bit of a. Okay, so I've spent 57 hours in, like, what was the latest version, Rebellion.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that I'm pretty sure I spent at least double that in the initial version, and I know at least that in that middle second version of it. So that's...
Yeah, I got like 68 hours on Rebellion and 18 on Trinity. So that's good chunk of hours.
Yeah.
We played them.
So definitely got our money from it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Definitely got our money from it.
And, still buying like expansions and stuff whenever they drop. It's just such a good game. Another one that I really liked that was themed space style, but a little bit different, was Galactic Civilizations 2, which again I think was Stardog.
Oh, yeah. You. I think I even own that because you spent a long time telling me, no, it's really good, but it doesn't have multiplayer. I don't think.
No, but Galactic Civilization 3 does.
Yeah, right. But
I believe you have it as well.
I think you might have sent me 3 eventually. But that yet again means that because it didn't have multiplayer, so I don't think I even installed it yet, and I don't think we really set in for 3, so I just hadn't done it.
Yeah,
but
3. Mm-hmm.
That's another kind of strategy-esque. That's like a Civ-esque game, isn't it?
It's a Civ game basically, but you're in space, and instead of just like colonizing an island, you're going out and colonizing planets. And doing diplomacy with intergalactic warlords. And because it's a civilization game, you've got that really nice, just kind of, I can do one turn situation going on, and you can also go, you know what, I can do something important and have this running in the background, and then just every now and then when I just need like a little break, I can get up and like do a couple turns and then go back to what I'm doing. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that.
That is how I tend to treat Civ, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy games that have really good diplomacy options in them, which I believe Civ does. Like, there's like a big, there's like a galactic council that you can go onto and you vote, and the amount of planets you have counts to how strong your vote is and things like that.
Yeah, right.
I also really liked just steering it more towards games that have good diplomacy and stuff. I really like Seven Kingdoms. Like that super old, like 1995 game, Seven Kingdoms and Seven Kingdoms 2.
As soon as we were talking about diplomacy and strategy games, I was like, it's only a matter of time. I'll let Jamie do it.
Yeah.
Let him get there. He'll get there eventually. Did we ever, because the only problem we really have with Seven Kingdoms is, like, obviously now it looks very dated.
Yes.
But I know we've tried multiple times to get that running so we can play it multiplayer, and I don't think we've had any success.
Well, the multiplayer component that's built into the game is completely defunct now.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's using a protocol. It's dead, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think you'd need like Game Ranger or something to get that working, or Hamachi maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm not totally sure. I'd need to look it up again. Like, it's just one of those things where, you know, I'm always down to play it. I always want to play it, but it's such a hassle to get it going that if we're hanging out and we go like, oh, we should play it, like I'm not prepared, which is why I went ahead and I took a look at Rune before we even started talking about when we're going to play it. And I figured out how to get the multiplayer working again. I went in and I edited INI files and I added shaders so the game would run fast. And like I did all this shit. So when we actually play Rune, we'll be good to play Rune.
We do, we did test that as well. You and me stood around for a bit and it runs well. It's there. Yeah. So we can now have that if you listened last week, we can now have Josh and Dave settle their debate that they didn't end up really having.
Yeah, the Josh and Dave great debate that we forgot that they were going to do when we talked to them the next time.
Yeah, we did. We really did. But there you go. That'll happen at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just to add more to our offering of stuff.
More stuff to do. Yep.
More stuff to do.
Yeah, it's going to be really good as well because I'm just going to ruin Josh on it, and he's going to be like, oh, it's such a bad game.
Gonna ruin him. Ruin him good. Actually, speaking of old multiplayer games that can be used to settle debates, I feel like Jedi Academy is something
I
that
was
needs to come
actually
back,
thinking
really.
about Jedi Academy.
Oh, man, it was just...
super down for that.
I played so much of that by myself in multiplayer maps against bots.
Yes.
I just spent time playing that multiplayer. That's like, because I mean, let's face it, that's basically what Quake 3 was.
Yeah.
And that's my comparable one to this, is that like the amount of time I spent in Quake 3 just shooting bots and Unreal Tournament just shooting bots is very obviously rivaled by the amount of time I spent in Star Wars Jedi Academy murdering bots with lightsabers.
Because we grew up in the age of really shitty Australian internet, and so all we had were bots. So I remember trying to go into like Quake matches and stuff, and the lowest ping I could find was 300. It was just savage, you know? And so you'd be like, I would really prefer just to be able to shoot a thing and watch it die instead of shoot a thing and watch me die.
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons why Phantasy Star was such a big deal, I feel.
Yes.
Down here, because I remember you playing that on the Dreamcast hooked up to your 28K.
Yeah, dude.
And I mean, it's Phantasy Star, so it was literally just like I act like an MMO, and it was good.
Yep. Any kind of like, if you have a PvE only game, you have no excuse to go, you know what, your actions need to go server side, then the server needs to go, no, you did it. Like,
oh god, yeah.
Because even though there was a little bit of desync in Phantasy Star, where like you'd see a guy attacking like all the way across the room, and then another way across the room, the actual enemy he was targeting was dying. Like that was still fine because it didn't impede the gameplay of any of the players. Everyone was just doing their thing, and what they were seeing was lore, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And people get like a little bit too clever with how they want to have everything sync up properly, and it's not necessarily needed if it's going to impact the gameplay of people who have a shitty long distance connection.
Yeah. Good old Australian internet just busting out with its super cool times.
Do you hear that they're starting to talk about ramping up the speed of our fiber connections?
Oh no.
Well, because if you've got fiber to the home, technically you've got the capacity for a gigabit connection.
Yeah,
they
you
just
do.
capped it all. So they're starting to lift the caps now.
Well, I mean that's fine, but they still didn't actually put fiber to the home in everywhere. So
yes. No, if you got fiber to the node, you're still screwed.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. We can maybe hope for some better stability on the people that are stuck on that.
Yeah. Maybe. Nah, I don't know.
I don't know. I just, we have a miserable infrastructure set up. And
yeah. Well, we've got like, it's 50% miserable infrastructure, 50% kind of okay because they hadn't fucked it at that point, infrastructure. It's a weird setup.
Like I said, the last place I was living, I was quite happy with my fiber to the premises.
Yeah.
It was great. Just ran real well, just real smooth. It kind of spoilt me a little bit, so now I'm a little bit dirty when I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is fucking copper connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
like this connection that I'm on now is fiber to the home, so I'm pretty happy with it as far as like, you know, standard Aussie internet goes.
Yeah,
Canada spoiled me. Fucking like on a mid-tier internet plan, I'm downloading like 40 megs a second.
You went somewhere where they give a shit about what their consumers have in their internet connection, whereas here they're mostly worried about making sure that you can't watch Netflix all the time because Fox still exists.
It was so funny because I guess like no matter where you are, you always find, you know, something to be angry about with a service. And
Oh,
so I'd be with a company and people telling me like, they're a shit company, they're not very good. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is great.
It's because they're used to it. They got it too good. They got those soft baby eyes looking at this service.
The soft baby connections.
Yeah, they're so used to such soft baby, like streamlined connections, nice and sleek, nice and soft.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
like a
Get it together, Canada. It's 2020.
like a 10 megasecond download is fine. You know, it's that is what I would define as a serviceable connection.
That's doable.
But,
yeah.
Yeah. And that is unfortunately like the peak of what we have at the moment.
For the most part, yeah, across a lot of Australia, that is pretty much what we have. Especially because I do find that one of the biggest problems we have with our internet was that obviously there's a lot of like political talk shit with, you know, these guys were wanting to do it right and then these guys came along and fucked it.
Yep.
That's exactly where I stand on it. But like the fact that the initial plan was to make sure that everyone had something, but now, and this was something I didn't realize until I actually worked for one of our telcos for a bit. I was like, wow, look at how much of this country is surviving on like really thinly stretched wireless connections out into the wilderness.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's obviously a little bit better now with 5G and stuff like that coming in. But there is still, because of like how Australia is, like terrain, I don't think people realize how fucking massive Australia is.
It's a big boy.
It's just that there's a lot of expanses of fuck all, or there's a lot of expanses of fucking everything, but it's like dense trees and bushland. So you end up with these spaces where people have decided, no, I'm living here, but there's nothing.
Well, like
so you end up with everyone having like a vague 5G, you know, Wi-Fi connection, and you're like, man, initially the plan was to make sure there was a cable within like at least, you know, 50 kilometers of these guys.
Yeah,
they're just sitting there still. So
I mean, I don't envy the position that the NBN were in when they had to like go, we're going to wire up all Australia and make it all standardized. I mean, you're basically looking at a landmass that is big enough to fit North America into it and still have room to spare. Hello there, gentle listener. This is Editing Jamie, editing the podcast. Just kind of chiming in here to let you know that statement I just said there was complete bullshit. I don't know where I pulled that from. America would not fit neatly into Australia. Anyway, it's completely wrong. I looked it up. It's a bit bigger than Australia. Either way, just keep in mind, Australia is a landmass that is a little bit smaller than America, where everyone has gone, all right, we're just going to live on the edges of this.
The edges of it.
And then there's like one or two randoms who are like, we're going a little bit inland. And like those guys inland, shit, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of copper. Yeah. Not copper. That's a lot of fiber to lay.
That's a lot of fiber. What are you doing? Yeah. You're just making their lives hard. Why didn't your ancestors think about this fiber tech?
It's terrible ancestors.
But yeah. I don't think the world really actually. This is a new thing like that we're doing, because I feel like a lot of the world doesn't understand the trouble that Australia has with the internet. Because oh my god, like if you hear an American complain on Reddit or something like that, and they're whinging about their service or they're whinging about their speeds, and you're just like, do you know?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Do you actually understand?
We're at a point where I'm not actually sure about, like, you hear that some Americans have, like, really good connections, but you also hear that people are still on, like, close to dial-up stuff. So it's varied from where you go. I mean, America's a large place.
It's so privatized over there, though.
Yeah, like
I think is almost the issue. It's good and bad. It's good because it drives competition. It's bad because then they are fucking.
It doesn't drive competition though, because they collude. You have AT&T in one state, and then I think it's Verizon in another state, and they won't. They've agreed not to go into like other states because they're going like, nah, this is fine, and they just have like everything is like really expensive, and it's a really shit service because it's just like, it's just got to be us or nothing.
Yeah, true.
It's pretty bad there, and there's some super draconian bullshit going on with those internet providers. Fucking internet providers, like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's like our like one of the reasons why we because okay, boring brief history lesson. Australia, as far as telecommunications and internet went, was government run for years and years and years. A company called Telecom. It wasn't a company; it was government run. It was government telecom. That's what they had. They owned that. It wasn't privatized at all. They ran it, and they went, "Yeah, we've got to make sure everyone has a phone. That's our service right now." And then obviously more things came on, and then our government was retarded, and they decided to sell a bunch of shit, and so now it's become Telstra, and it's been privatized. I think it's got like some government intervention stuff in, but the problem is we could have had years ago amazing plans.
Oh yeah,
for our internet and amazing. But what has actually happened, and this is what like I said, you work for a telco and you kind of like start finding this stuff out. There's actually a bunch of legislation in place that says to Telstra, you are not allowed to make super good, because if you make super good, you have too much stuff in and you will run the market. And then like I still remember the battle being them going, but you're making it like you're gimping us so hard, and like we're trying to do good things, and we're a private company now, so we want to make a better service. But the government was just sitting there like, no, there's a bunch of rules about consumerism that mean you aren't allowed to take over the market now that you're a private company.
But it's stupid anyway, because every other telco rents from Telstra.
Yeah. And then they offer better speeds and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, stupid.
Stupid.
Anyway,
good old Australian internet.
That's enough of the history of Australian internet.
That's where we need to be. Not everyone needs to know about our trouble even watching a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so anyway, I've been playing a lot of Divinity 2 lately.
Oh yeah, you have been, haven't you? Yeah.
And dude, that's a good game. I really like it. Yeah. It's also really tricky. Like if you kind of like just go really wishy-washy with your builds, you're like, throw some stats here, this is probably fine. If you tackle it like you're playing a traditional, like a D&D stat-based RPG, you're in trouble. Because I kind of went like, oh yeah, this guy will be the cleric. So I'll put a bunch of points into like constitution, some stuff into intelligence, some stuff into like memory, so he can memorize more spells. And he does now no damage, and he just dies. And then I have like this other guy who's a skeleton, and I'm like, yeah, he's a wizard. I'll put some stuff into intelligence, blah blah. Don't know what skills I want. I'll just kind of wing it. He also dies really quick because it's like it's two-factor, because one, he is a skeleton. So the healing stuff from my cleric kills him.
Yeah, killing. It's
and two, he's very squishy. So the only way for him to survive is if I put down poison and stuff for him to walk on, or have him drink bottles of poison.
Yeah.
But the enemy, they all know. They look at him and they go like, this guy has significantly less HP and armor. We're going for him.
Shit, let's get him.
Yeah, we're going for him, and then
let's smack his tits off his rib cage. Yeah.
Even though, like, so there's the law in the game is that if you're a skeleton, people will freak the fuck out when they see you like a skeleton. So you got to cover up, hide your skeletonness.
Yeah.
And I do that. But when I'm fighting enemies, they instantly know he's a skeleton. And they just go like, we're throwing healing magic on you, now you're dying, and now we'll throw a thing on you that, like, I don't even know what it is, but it basically changes it so that if you use a poison potion, it hurts you. And so I have no avenue to heal him, so he just dies every time. And I'm like, for crying out loud, Fane. And so, and then my main guy he's like a fighter, and he's okay. He's got like a lot of like armor and durability, but he just doesn't have the damage output. And he's a fighter. And the only person who does do really good damage is my rogue, and she keeps fucking dying really quickly.
Yeah, because she's a rogue, so she's gonna eat shit as soon as someone sneezes on her.
I've been looking into this. Like, there are a bunch of skills that I need to get to make my characters more viable and stuff. But like, you gotta like, the first time you walk into that game, if you walk in and you don't know what you're doing, wow, is it gonna just bend you over, you know? And
See,
but
I don't know.
I've also been playing it with just like Lauren and a friend, and
yeah,
we've done way better in that, because at the same time, each person is just managing one character.
Oh, just their own character. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and Lauren's doing this like crazy combo stuff where she like makes her elf bleed, and then she like uses like this ability to like kind of take the blood that's on the ground and infuse that in her arrows, and then she like pops up to higher ground, so she does like extra damage, and she's just murdering shit in a couple of shots, and like, oh, there's the damage.
Right.
And you know, and my guy, he's like a metamorph, so I've got like these cool skills that I can transform myself into like kind of a bull and just like rush across the map to like close the gap really quick and whip dudes with a tentacle and turn them into a chicken if I want. And so I'm having a lot of fun with that. And our friend is like summoning all like these totems, and because there's a lot of effects that kind of happen as you do attacks. So if you do an acid attack, poison will litter the ground. If you stab a guy, they'll bleed on the ground. Ice attack, obviously ice on the ground, which will turn to water. And those terrain effects can then be manipulated. So if there's poison on the ground, if you shoot fire at the poison, it will explode.
Right.
If you've got blood on the ground and you're a necromancer, you can absorb that blood and put it back into your body and heal yourself. You know, and when our friend summons her totems or her little minions, like, they're infused with whatever element she's clicked on. So we get blood totems and acid totems and like these little like fire demons and stuff like that, and they're all running around.
Right.
So once the game clicks, it's really, really satisfying. And I really recommend it, but there is a learning curve that you got to be prepared to get over the hump of, because it can be quite steep.
Well, yeah, it does worry me a little bit that you've basically gone, oh, if you don't know what you're doing, you're fucked. Because it's like, how do you learn? If you know what I mean. Like, that always worries me in any game. If any game has a thing where you've kind of got to know what you're doing to be in there, I'm like, oh, shit.
The good thing about it, though, is that the game is very fluid in your builds. So once you hit like I think the second chapter, you just find a mirror, and you can use that to completely respec your character. No cost, no limitation. So if you go like, you know what, I am just a wafer thin thing that I die super quick, you can take some stats out and shift them to Constitution, or take some stuff out and shift it to Strength or Memory or whatever you need. The only downside is that as you go through the game, you pick up skill books, and that's how you learn your skills. And if you go, I really need these other skills, but I don't have the skill books and I don't have the money, you got to kind of find a way to source some coin and find a person who's selling that particular skill book and then learn it. But once you've learned it, you're okay. You know?
Yeah, okay. So you've just got it once you learn it, which is handy.
Yeah.
Especially if you can change,
Yeah. So it's just it's a very fluid game. You can they really don't want you to be tackling it like a traditional D&D style game. You want to like put points into different magics and stuff like that. Even if it's just like 2 or 3, they make a lot of difference. And you go, okay, so if I put like 2 points into this and then 1 point into this, I can then when the fight starts, I can jump into the air like a comet and smash down within like this large area. Right. And then I position myself properly, and then I can like bust out with all my punches and kicks and whatever. Or like there's like an evade that you really want to get, because you pop that on there and you get 90% evasion chance.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And so if you're like, I'm surrounded, I pop this evade, 90% evade for 1 turn. Like, they waste their turn, you get action points back, you just go for it.
Yeah, you just go nuts. Right.
So, yeah, there's it's so technical, and that's really, really cool, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's that's the kind of thing that we don't really see a lot anymore, I don't think. since like, well, I feel like the last time we really saw anything as in depth as this is when proper D&D games were getting made, like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. So
Like, well, I mean, there is a little bit of a resurgence. I mean, you take a look
now,
at... Yeah, we had, like, Divinity Original Sin, obviously, rocked up a few years back. And then and we also had Pillars of Eternity, and like Obsidian were really kind of putting their best foot forward with that. So you had, like, Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 and Tyranny. So there have been, like, a few games that have come out that really kind of scratch that tabletop RPG itch.
I do feel like that's why they do so well, though. That's why everyone knows them, because it's like every couple of years, then one will hit that's actually a fleshed out thing like this, and so people go, "Wait a minute, it's back!" and they jump at it. But
and I mean, if you look at the Obsidian stuff, like that's very traditional in the style of Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and stuff like that, which is great. The thing that I really like about Divinity is that everything feels way more interactive. Like, at one point, there was a chest, and it was locked, and I couldn't open it. I didn't have a high enough lock-picking skill, so I went, fuck it. So I picked up the chest and put it in my pocket, and I walked around until I got a high enough thievery skill, whipped it out, and then unlocked it. So
I'm so glad you just chucked that in your pocket and trundled away.
Yeah, and you have like they call it telekinesis, where like any character can take like a barrel or an object and then just move it, and it was kind of like a thump. And you can use that to disable traps sometimes, or you can reposition like a fire barrel, then shoot the barrel and clear pathway.
This chest I had in my pocket earlier, I'll use that to destroy the trap, the boulder trap.
Yep. Because there are these poison traps that if you block the vents, they don't shoot poison anymore. And so we get like one of our little skeleton dudes to walk in who breathe poison like we breathe air.
Yeah.
And just like whack a barrel on it, safe for everyone to pass.
I mean, that's handy.
It's good.
That's handy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the game.
Yeah, well, you actually because we tried did we try the first one years ago?
Yeah, we started playing the first one.
Yeah, and I know we got to a weird point where we didn't really know what to do, which almost makes me wonder if that was just us not understanding something.
Yeah, but, I'd like to go back.
But yeah, I don't think I've touched 2. I don't think I own 2.
No,
but I do know that I heard a heap about it when it hit.
Yeah.
But like the only things I really heard were "it's good, man," and that was kind of it.
I mean, to be fair, that's accurate.
Yeah, I just that's all I really heard. But no, I'm glad it's actually as fleshed out as it should be, realistically.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at I've been sitting looking at my Steam list now, then I'm just like, oh man, I should play Baldur's Gate 2 again. And I pulled the trigger and installed it the other day. But I haven't really sat there and done it.
Yeah.
But it does seem like if I ever see it on sale or whatever in a pinch, Divinity 2 might be a good one.
Yeah, I think it's actually 50% off at Green Man Gaming, maybe?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was on sale like last week. I know that much because Lauren grabbed it.
This is just some consistent, amazing, just really good sales going on at the moment on GOG. On Good Old Games. Because, see, I don't remember Good Old Games a lot when I'm just tooling around. It never really pops into my head to go and check them. Mm-hmm. I don't have GOG Galaxy installed or anything. But it kind of really caught my eye when it was like the 10th anniversary of Alan Wake. So they did a 90% off sale on Alan Wake. And like Alan Wake, to be honest, has like a special place in my heart. Not only do I really like the game, but for anyone that doesn't know, me and Jamie used to do a lot of Let's Plays and stuff on YouTube. And that was the first one that we actually did. That was the first...
Yeah, that's our first playthrough.
When we were like baby's first playthrough and figuring stuff out. It was in like standard def and fucking... It took me like weeks to put together the audio and everything because I was just figuring it out. But it was pretty good.
Dude, remember that POV-ass capture card that we got on eBay for like $12?
$12 bucks, I think it was. $12. Gee,
man.
it existed.
We were working on a budget of $20, so that was pretty good for us.
Around about that, yeah. Well, especially because back then we were doing podcasts as well. It's actually what we did the first time we started doing a podcast, and then we moved in doing some gameplay stuff. And I'd drop the cash on like a mixing desk and some mics and that kind of thing. And I did that thing where you get into something and you go overkill.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of dump like a couple $100 on audio recording stuff. But and then it got to actually doing stuff like this that we wanted to do, and I was just like, oh man, that's expensive. Like, especially at the time, it was pretty average. So I it's been made a lot easier now. But Alan Wake has like a real special place in my heart because of that. And then Good Old Games had that 90% off sale, and I was just like, of course I want to properly own that again.
Yeah, man. In fact, our first playthrough of Alan Wake, we were running the Good Old Games version of the game.
I thought so.
Yeah, because I got a copy for Steam. I remember buying a copy for Steam, but this was before like the places like G2A and G2Play were like, people were like, oh, they're illegal key sellers. So I didn't know that at the time. I thought, I'm broke as hell. I'll just go to a key seller. And I got an Alan Wake key. Unbeknownst to me, it was in Russian. And I could not open the game. Like, it was like, this is region locked. And I couldn't get another copy of the game from Steam because it goes, you've already owned Alan Wake. So I'm like, all right, lesson learnt there.
Yeah.
And so I went to GOG and grabbed a copy there. And that was the one that we used. And, good times.
DRM free, let's go, buddy. Run it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that man, what a time.
But I did actually end up, I've kind of just bought, I think maybe like 4 or 5 games on GOG now, just like offhandedly in the last week, because I'm like, that's like $2 and that's a good game. That's a really good game. I'm going to go for the $2 version of that game, because on Steam that's like $15, bruv. So,
yeah,
I mean,
like, a lot of good sales on GOG, a lot of good sales on Green Man Gaming. Basically, if you just go to isthereanydeal.com, you will find some great sales going on at the moment, because like I assume because of the situation.
Quick disclaimer: we're not shilling for whatever that was deal.
We're not shilling for any of these. Like I am just going through my process to finding the cheapest. Like, I have over 1,000 games in my Steam library. Do you think if I bought them at their base price, I would still have a roof over my head? No, you got to be sensible.
Nah, I agree. I agree. I'm right there with you, bud. I'm right there with you. That's I say that we're talking about financial responsibility. I have begun putting together a new PC.
Nice.
I did. So I chatted to Josh. Like, so I'll fully and freely admit this. I don't really keep up with the ins and outs of PC tech at the moment.
Of course, yeah.
Haven't for a while. It's not like, it's one of those things where I can retain information if it's relevant.
Sure.
But because I literally haven't bought myself, quote unquote, a new PC for like 10 years. Like, pretty much everything I've got's been like purchases from friends that have upgraded, or purchases of whatever. I've chucked some stuff in my box.
You have so many hand-me-downs. Like, for the last 15 years, your entire rig has just been hand-me-downs.
That's pretty much it.
I am so excited for you to get like a good new PC.
The thing is, though, I'm sitting there and I've finally convinced myself that, yes, after this many years, I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to do this. I've bought... I've put the deposit down for the house. I've done this thing. I'm I'm at a point, like, nah, I'm doing it. So I've like, gone the Ryzen 7 or whatever the fuck it is, and for the processor, and I've got the board, and I've got all this, and like, it's all on the way. It's all on the way coming to me. But so in the last week, like, I haven't actually bought any new hard drives or SSDs or a GPU for it.
Right.
But I have dropped about $1,400.
Nice.
So we'll see where that goes. Financial responsibility.
It's fine. So, what kind of CPU are you going for?
It's the that newer AMD Ryzen. I think Ryzen 6, 7.
Oh yeah, cool.
It's
nice.
the newer one because I had a look at it and I was like, that one there, and I think it was the Ryzen 4. I was like, that's cost effective.
Yeah,
but it's got a smaller number.
Yeah,
and that was genuinely how I ran with it. I'll actually, if you give me a brief moment.
Yeah, okay.
Just gonna really quickly run there. Actually, the problem is now too, and this is the thing. I like I said, I haven't bought new PC stuff for a long time, and you know, obviously, I've kind of gone and I've run with it. Oh, I did get myself an RGB covered case as well. Let's just make sure that's like loud and clear that everyone knows that's one of the reasons. But yeah, an AMD Ryzen 7.
Is that one of the reasons you bought a new PC for an RGB case? Is that what you're telling me, Nick?
No, it happened to be just a happy accident.
Very defensive, Nick. You're very defensive.
That was how it worked because I was looking at it and I was like, you know, getting all these new PC parts. And I looked at my case and I was like, case looking a little bit sorry for itself.
Uh-huh.
And you know, actually, he was the thing that sealed the deal of me buying a new case. And and like I said, the fact that there was RGB options only occurred to me after I went looking for a case. Right. And I went, oh yeah. But what I'm going to tell you, and this, I think you're going to understand this because I feel like this is an option that not a lot of people bring up. It's not necessarily embarrassing, but I feel like it's not something that you're allowed to just scream to the heavens. Okay. So I get this box that I'm running now. At the moment, it came from a friend. I think I chucked $300 at him. Yeah. It's good. And like you ended up passing me down a GPU for it.
That's a good one too.
It is a good one. That's actually what I'm chucking into this one until I decide that I can financially reasonably explain another GPU.
It's like a 1060, I think.
Yeah, 1060.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So yeah, I'm going to be running that, like, no doubt for another couple months anyway, at least.
Yeah.
But the case on it though is, it's like I said, you'll understand this as soon as I say it. You'll get exactly why I'm doing this.
Okay.
One of the feet on the bottom right was gone when I got it.
Oh,
so the case was like kind of a little bit off kilter. So I was like, chuck something under it. Mm-hmm. That was all well and good. Did that. I like forgot that it was even gone. Right. I get it out. Josh gives me a hand getting the because there was no power supplies when I picked it up. Josh gives me a hand actually putting together the front of the case, so the USB ports at the front actually work and everything for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, cool, sweet. But during that period of picking it up, heading to Josh's, coming back, putting it back, another one of the feet disappeared.
Oh.
Now you would think, you'd think like, sure, that probably lines up with the other one, right?
No.
Nah, it's the one totally diagonal from it. So now I've got this box that will if something breathes on it and I don't have something under both two corners of this fucking thing, it was and I'm just like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Now, Nick, I also want to clarify, I'm not giving you shit for wanting to buy a new case. I would myself personally insist upon you buying a new case if you're getting if you're redoing this thing, get a new case, have entirely new parts, just really treat yourself to something nice, you know. But the fact that when you said that you're getting RGBs and then you said that's one of the reasons, it tweaked in my brain that you just inadvertently said one of the reasons I'm getting a new computer is because this has RGB. So I was a bit worried.
I mean, not quite. It's a bonus, really. It's a bonus. There's going to be more green lights shooting into my eyes.
But yeah, I think once you put this in together, you really should. You've already got like that GPU, so save a little bit and then buy yourself like the best GPU money can buy. Because it'll last for fucking forever. And also you'll be able to do, if you get like an RTX or something, you can get ray tracing going on. That's just like, it's just nice, you know?
Yeah. No, that's kind of what I'm going with at the moment. It's just, I'm kind of that was why I didn't really mind spending the cash at the minute. Just on that, just going, you know what? Just for now, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to pump the cash into this thing. That's one of the reasons why, like I said, I'm going to use this GPU at the moment for a while so I can just bank some cash behind me. Get one that's going to just sit there and exist for a while.
Absolutely.
And be happy with
the bigger a beast you make that machine, like the better it's going to be for everything that you're doing with streaming and stuff like that as well. Like it's just going to make life way easier for you.
Yeah.
You should get a Threadripper.
You keep saying that. You keep
Threadripper.
I feel like I don't even know what Threadripper is. I just know
it's
that
like
you
got
love
5,000
saying
cores.
Threadripper. So
Threadripper.
It's got 5,000 cores. It's got 5,000 cores.
It's got like 16 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's just like it's basically like everything that Intel are doing at the moment is like they're trying to catch up to AMD with their Threadripper.
Yeah,
and it's like they haven't really done anything that makes you go like, oh yeah, they're really bringing it to AMD. It's just like Threadripper. It's humongous.
Threadripper.
It's crazy. You need like a specific motherboard just for the Threadripper. It's great.
Wow.
Big fan. I want one.
I figured. At this point, after you saying that much, I assume that you would be keen, as it were.
Yep. That's like this computer I've got's gonna do me for a while now, but definitely like the next one I build, I'm gonna look at getting myself something like that. Just a nice Threadripper.
Nice Threadripper. Nice little Threadripper. Would you good little Threadripper? Would you nice little Threadripper? Sounds like let's be fair. It sounds like the Threadripper's like a decker from some like Shadowrun or something, like a cyberpunk thing.
Well,
it's like I'm ripping the threads up.
It is a fucking dope name. I cannot deny that.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me. You know what? I haven't played for years. To the point where I'm not sure if I am close. And we didn't actually mention it before when we were talking about like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. But the Shadowrun games.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I want to go back to them, but I also can't remember which of the however many there is that I've actually played through. Because I know I've played through at least 2, but then I don't think I've done an expansion for 1, and I think I need to go back to another one. But those games are really good, man.
Yeah, I think Shadowrun Hong Kong is my favorite. Oh, actually, because like there were like 3, weren't there? So I
think there was
Returns
3
in Hong Kong.
There was also
Dragonfall.
like
That's the other one.
Dragonfall, yeah.
Yeah.
There was also, I think, like a weird kind of more 3D one that I don't think looked as good. That had multiplayer.
Remember. Oh, I think that was like a different company was doing an MMO.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a different.
Far.
That was a different company though. It wasn't like the guys that were making Shadowrun, so I wasn't interested in it.
Yeah, I don't even know if that took off the ground.
I don't even know if it lasted. I don't even know if it exists. I just know that it was there.
But hey, Shadowrun is another good isometric RPG that came out. You know, in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, something like that. About then. Well, maybe.
Oh well, actually, I think Shadowrun Returns was 2014.
Jeez. But that was the thing that was good. It was good, and it certainly brought the name back from that. What was that arena shooter that happened on the 360?
Yeah.
I think? God, that era. Oh,
that Shadowrun game on the 360 was actually one of the first instances of crossplay between Xbox and PC.
Yeah, I remember that having that as a feature that it was running.
It's just a shame it was a fundamentally underwhelming game and no one played it.
Yeah, it was. There was no community and it wasn't very good, which is unfortunate. But
oh man, while we're again on the topic of these RPGs, another good one just popped into my head. Totally forgot about it. Disco Elysium. Really good.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, and it's a completely different style of game. It's not really combat based at all. It's all based on like character choices. The entire thing is character driven. It's really cool.
Yeah, geez, I forgot all about that. I think I even bought that recently, and I haven't actually played it yet. I'm pretty sure I did, because I think I saw it on sale. And I was just like, that looks cool though. So I think I ended up picking that up. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's great. Totally recommend it. There's a lot more existentialism than you'd expect,
Yeah.
and it's just like your main character is like a fucking mess.
right.
Yeah, it's good. I got to go back to it actually. I keep doing this thing where I play these games to a certain point, and then like real life gets in the way, and I forget about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
Disco
that's
Elysium.
like, let's face it, that's like every adventure game that I've ever picked up in my life.
Yeah.
Like RPGs like that, for some reason, I will run back to consistently. But if I'm playing an adventure game, you can assume that's dead after a couple of days, because I'll hit it, and I'll really like it. But then I won't remember to boot it up again.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like, the more I think, the more ISO RPGs are popping in my head. We've really entered into like a renaissance of isometric RPGs in this last decade.
They really needed to come back. So we went for a pretty long time with none of them, realistically. And then we started getting with XCOM turn-based strategy games again, like small scale ones. And I almost feel like that was a bit more of a jump back, because when you look at them, like XCOM specifically, and there was a couple other games there's like other games that have come out running off that formula, and I still remember playing XCOM and just being like, oh man, remember Baldur's Gate? and like that was in my head after that, where I was just like, that kind of RPG system. And I remember we hadn't seen a lot
When did
up until XCOM,
come out?
I don't think, really. It's 2012, 13 maybe?
Was it?
Oh, maybe.
13 sounds like it could be right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like XCOM kind of... Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the total time frame for it. It's
I just know that at the time,
Oh, no,
I remember
yeah, it was 2012, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember at the time genuinely thinking to myself, there's not a lot of games that feel like this anymore.
Yes.
So, and see, I went through a bit of a period where I was yearning for that particular feeling game.
Yeah, I think, like, because there were definitely, like, little strategy games like that popping up here and there.
Yeah.
But they weren't really mainstream in a lot of ways. But then XCOM kind of landed, and it just had, like, that polish to it that really made you kind of go, oh, shit, this is cool. Yeah. And... that totally brought it back into a more mainstream view, I think. Yeah. And then we started getting like the return of like, it was Kickstarter that really did it. Like once Kickstarter happened, and we had people from Obsidian going, we really want to make a traditional
cool game.
Isometric RPG.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, everyone put all this money behind it, and people going, oh shit, people still legitimately want to play these games. Yeah. And I think that was the real turning point, that there was like the money behind a project that was like the biggest success at the time for Kickstarter, I think. Or it did very, very well. And then
I know it did well. So.
And then it came out and it reviewed great. And then more games started coming in. And I think Shadowruns was also one that came out around the same time as the Pillars of Eternity one. And then also Divinity was there. So, yeah, the Kickstarter really enabled the resurgence of the isometric RPG.
Well, it meant that companies and people could go back to making games that they wanted to play, instead of trying to get a publisher to give them the okay.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel, one of the greatest things to do with crowdfunding. Obviously, there's a lot of not great things that have come out of crowdfunding.
Sure.
But I just feel like giving power back to people that are actually going to give a fuck about what they do is just such a big deal. And that's what things like Kickstarter and Possible enable.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's kind of like that situation with just... Sometimes you get a good game out of a Kickstarter. Sometimes you get your money stolen. The trick about a Kickstarter is that, like, it is a gamble. But if everything looks solid, it's worth taking the risk and chucking down, like, even just $5, because it all adds up. Yeah. And we've gotten such great stuff out of it. Well,
I think the only real failure I've seen come out of that was oh Christ, I've forgotten his name. It was that dinosaur game where it was all built in the Unreal Engine. And it was just like, from what I could tell, it was a guy that just went, I basically want to make a game with dinosaurs that's like Rust. And it was, oh shit, what was it called? What was it called, Jamie? It got so much flack. I think it's been taken off Steam now.
I don't even know what it is.
My God. But, okay.
I almost said Ark, but that actually works.
Yeah, that well, you say that. Works. Are you sure?
People play it.
Yeah, people play it. But no, it was basically just this like crazy bog standard Unreal Engine artifact asset. I mean, put together thing. From what I can gather, like, because the guy that was making it was more of a programmer than anything, and he just sorted out a lot of really good network stuff. So you could hang out with everyone, and there was crafting and there was dinosaurs, but it was busted to shit. Yeah. And it got so much traction because there was so many people that were just like, I like the crafting games because I'm that kind of person. Right. It's Minecraft is but big. It looks better. Yeah. And I ended up with a copy because a friend of mine like kickstarted so hard because and he got like 4 copies, I think. He gave me one of them. I played like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I spent it with him. We were in a cave. I think the net code broke.
Oh, no.
I fell out. I managed to get back in. I couldn't find him. Turns out he was in another server, even though I'd rejoined on him to the server. No. I tried to have an interaction with a very mean dinosaur. It went weirdly wrong. I remember going, this is fine, I've got a stick, he's not very big, and then I was dead, and then he was apparently eating me. And I'm like, I don't even know how that happened. And then I kind of went, all right, that's sitting to the side. Thanks, Kickstarter. That's sitting to the side. And if he says, if these specific guys, because not only did he get 4 copies, but another friend of mine got 4 copies. That's how I nearly ended up with 2 copies, because I got offered another copy by someone else too.
Yeah, please no.
And I was like, look, I'll try it. I'll see what it's like. But I'm not a crafting game guy. I hate it. I got bored in Minecraft, and I haven't gotten into any of them since. He's like, yeah, no, that's fine. We'll try it out. We'll play it. And yeah, I made that decision that I would only ever try it again when like they were online, so I could hang out with them, because I wasn't going to get into it by myself. And it never got touched again. And rough. It had come from Kickstarter, that had happened, and everyone's just like, okay, this is fine though, because we're desperate to like it because we gave him a shitload of money. He'll patch it, right? No, he won't. I think 2 years went by with 0 patching, and then eventually it got taken off Steam from memory. I think it was about that time frame anyway. I know it was a massive time frame with no patch, and it just got removed. So
far out.
Thanks, Kickstarter, for that one. Yeah, I'm sure that I'll remember the name of it one day.
It honestly doesn't sound like it matters, Nick.
But yeah, everyone, like, Kickstarter, good and bad.
Good and bad. Kickstarter, good and bad. Bing.
There you go. Bing.
On that note, Nick, I think we should wrap it up for this week.
We probably should. I really need to poo.
All right, well then, thanks for listening, everybody. I've been Jamie.
I've been Nick.
And we are out of here. Like...